I want to introduce Andrew. Andrew Cameron Bailey is a filmmaker, photographer, inventor, and author. He blows my mind on a regular basis. He is a visionary thinker in the realms of human evolutionary potential and climate restoration. He has university degrees in literature, anthropology, and chemical engineering, and has lectured in chemistry and mathematics at a college level. He is the founder and CEO of Sacred Earth Enterprises, an ambitious for-profit startup with a global vision. With a small but passionate team, he is developing a rapid deployment solution for climate crisis. The venture sets out to help Paris Climate Agreement signatories to fulfill their carbon reduction obligations and to reach their sustainable development goals. He is co-author of The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm, author of the historical mystery novel, The Mayflower Revelations, and director of the films In Search of the Future, What Do the Wise Ones Know, and The Seeds of Freedom, A Vision for America. So I'll introduce Andrew next to talk about your climate change solution.
See if we can get that going. Meanwhile, I have this little kind of prepared statement because I know what happens in these things, and you end up with sort of, oh, you've got 30 seconds. So I'm going to read this very quickly, and it is basically a manifesto of what I believe to be necessary in terms of our awakening and our spiritual awakening, and also our boots on the ground, get involved and get this job done. I work for 4 human beings, none of whom is over the age of 10. They are my grandchildren. This is who I'm personally dedicating all of my energy to these days. I'm old enough not to be too terrified as I see what's going on, although I confess I'm scared witless. But our grandchildren are totally trusting us implicitly to take care of this. They don't even know about it yet. And what awaits them?
You can't do it. You have to have an iCloud password.
Okay, I seem to be lacking an iCloud password, so that's fine. I normally do this in elevators. The climate crisis presents humanity with a choice that we ignore at our peril. Wake up and grow up now, or go extinct like 99% of all the species that came before us. Fortunately, the human species has evolutionary potential that it has yet to manifest. The solution to the climate crisis is both a spiritual challenge and a practical boots-on-the-ground one. Humanity possesses extraordinary genius. We must deploy that genius without further delay. We must reconnect with nature and the wisdom of our indigenous relatives. We must examine and upgrade some fundamental assumptions. We must open our armored hearts, and we must use our brilliant science and technology to design and deploy global systems that will rebalance our atmosphere and our oceans to the pristine state they were in before the Industrial Revolution. Believe it or not, climate restoration is not a terribly difficult thing to accomplish. It just has to be done in rapid deployment mode on an unprecedented global scale. That's all. We can do that, right? We've done a lot of other things. We got to the moon. We fired up the last time the Nazis rose up. And, you know, when there's a serious challenge, it's that serious. It's like World War II. I guess Yosemite had to step in. So it just has to be done in rapid deployment mode on an unprecedented global scale. And we already know how to do that, do we not? We actually know how to do that. It's chemistry. I'm a chemical engineer by training. I knew the chemistry by the age of 14, 1-4. It's really, really, really simple. The engineering is really simple. If you can build an air conditioner or an evaporative cooler, swamp cooler, you can build a machine that will remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And the bigger you make that machine, or the more of them you deploy, the more carbon you get out of the atmosphere. So 1 trillion tons of carbon dioxide we humans have allowed to escape into our beautiful, beloved planet's atmosphere, and it stays up there for something like 1,000 years. 1 trillion tons. Big problem, right? No, we're turning that on its head. As I believe it was Yogananda said, there are no problems, only opportunities, right? So what's the opportunity? 1 trillion tons of carbon. Think of it as a mining opportunity. What could we do with 1 trillion tons of carbon? Well, you can turn carbon dioxide into green leafy vegetables, plants love it. You can turn it into concrete. Concrete is made of carbon. It's mostly limestone based, which is calcium carbonate. You can turn it into fuels. Fuels come in handy sometime, like it's wintertime and you need heat. The only rule in my business is that we capture the carbon, we do not let it escape. So if you're going to burn it for heat or any other purpose, you keep it in a closed cycle. That's totally easy to do. You can turn it into, here's my one that I love. You can turn it into carbon fiber composite material for 3D printing, and you can make anything you can possibly imagine. From cars to planes to boats to trains to brand new cities. Anything you want to make, and we can make that from the carbon that is already trapped in the sky. And if we do that on a sufficiently large scale, I'm talking about going into every city, every polluted city on the planet. I was going to show you a photograph I took. It was a portrait, an aerial of Mexico City that I took back in March. It's brown. You can't see the city. It was from the plane as we flew down to Chiapas, Mexico, last March. And there are hundreds of cities on this planet that are, it's just toxic to breathe. We can fix that, we can change that, and we can help those countries that those cities are in to meet their Paris climate obligations. We can help their economies, we can provide clean indoor space for people to live and work and play in. I'd like everybody in this room who's interested in this subject just to be in touch, please. So let me finish this. So we already know how to do it. And guess what? It will be very profitable for those who invest in it. This is the biggest business opportunity in existence. In fact, all other business opportunities kind of pale, because what if we lose the planet? What's your $1 billion worth then? You know? I mean, all that green money turns brown and goes up in smoke. True. It involves some simple, intelligent behavioral changes, some relatively simple engineering, and the spiritual and financial will to take sacred action before it is too late. Note the word sacred. It is our sacred duty to do this. And the name of the company is Sacred Earth Enterprises. We can do it, and in fact, we will do it. We have no alternative. Our grandchildren trust us implicitly. We simply have to wake up right now. We have to grow up, show up, link up, rise up, and get the job done. Thank you.
Sorry we couldn't get that presentation to show to you. A lot of amazing images, and I think you painted an amazing image in our mind, though, of building new entire cities out of what we need to pull out of the air right now. It gives me so much hope. Thank you.